Welcome back to Good Day Northern Michigan. The Alcona FFA Chapter's 16th Annual Maple Syrup Celebration Day is this weekend.
That's right, and we've got a couple of folks in to talk with us about the Sugar Shack and the big event from Alcona Community Schools. We've got Connor Hubbard and Chapter President Jacob June with us. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us this morning.
And we're glad to pull you out of class for a few minutes for a good cause. First off, before we get into maple syrup season and the Sugar Shack, I just have to ask on a health and safety note how you guys are holding up from the ice storm that was up north. Did you guys dodge a bullet there, or did you guys get hit too?
We got hit pretty hard. So a lot of places, some are still out of power. Most are coming back online. So, I got power back last night. The school, surprisingly enough, never lost power, and nothing affected our maple syrup lines. I know Jacob had some downed trees at his place, but
yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions for you. Was how does the weather like this affect what you guys are trying to do out with the maple trees?
Yeah, for sure. So when it's real cold and you get freezing rain, it's a little too cold. Pretty much, we're looking for freezing nights and thawing days as ideal sap conditions for it to run in the trees. And so, believe it or not, in some cases, if it's warm enough and it starts to rain or have some crazy storm patterns, that can drive the sap crazy, so to speak, and it just starts flowing really good at times. And then in other cases, if it's too cold, it doesn't like it. And so last couple of days, it's been a little chilly, but we did have some good sap run on Saturday and Sunday. So
awesome. Well, tell us about the celebration day that's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so it's our 16th annual celebration day. We have a variety of things going on. We started this when we first built our Sugar Shack. Back in 2007, we were able to construct our facility on our high school's campus. And then from there, we've just been able to expand, and we decided to have this celebration day to showcase with the community what we're doing and what's going on. And then I think Jacob can share with you some of the things that's going to be happening the day of.
What we're going to be doing on the day of is giving tours of the Sugar Shack. I'm having a little bit of having farm animals around so kids can see the farm animals, and also having a free breakfast too.
Yep, and then we'll have plenty of maple syrup for sale as well. And so really it's a big open house and community event. Last year we had a record attendance of 925 people come out.
Wow.
And that was pretty cool. So
yeah, that is cool. Well, Jacob, Connor mentioned that you had some tree damage from this recent storm, but tell us, what a day in the life is like for you, just out working with the trees and the sap and the Sugar Shack. And I don't know how many trees that you're responsible for, but what has it been like this season so far?
The season's been doing pretty good. We're up to 201 gallons of maple syrup already. So typically what we do as students is that we go out and identify what type of trees we're going to be tapping along the roadside and also in our woodlot out back at our school. So we're in the whole process of tapping the trees, tapping them, collecting the sap, and bringing it back to our Sugar Shack to boil it down to maple syrup.
And Jacob, what has been your favorite part about working with these students, opening them up to this new world, and just really diving into this with them?
So what I've been doing this year is that this year is my senior year. So what I've been doing is teaching the younger students what Hubbard's expectations are. So like getting different, like cleaning out the sap tanks on each of our trucks, cleaning them out, showing them, and having them do it themselves, and being that leader, showing them what needs to be done for this operation.
And Connor, just tell us, as the leader of the FFA group there, what do you see from students after high school? Do a lot of them stick with farming, or is this just an exposure to maybe a world they're not all that familiar with, and then they go on to do different things?
that's a good question. So the answer is kind of almost all of the above. Some definitely stick with some farming pursuits. If they grew up on a farm themselves, they typically will go back to that. In some cases beyond that, I see students go off to school and explore different career pathways. And so there's a wide variety of things that students do. The main thing is kind of getting them in here, exposing them to these opportunities, and showing them what possibilities there are out there for a career. And that's kind of part of the piece of our agri-science program and FFA chapter, is that career exposure piece and allowing them to see different facets of the industry. And then maple syrup's just the tip of the iceberg on one, and forestry is a big industry in our area as well. And so it kind of exposes them to all those pieces. And it's really neat to see how kids stay engaged. And a lot of them always come back every year for Syrup Celebration Day though, and say hello and just see how things are going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, Northern Michigan, Northwestern, and Northeastern Michigan are great places to do that. So Connor and Jacob, thank you guys both so much for being with us. We'll share the interview, of course, on 9and10news.com, and wish you the best of luck and have a great time with the Syrup Days this weekend.
All right. Thank you very much.